Toyota's largest crossover is finally here. Here's the all-new 2024 Grand Highlander. We're going to start it off with the design. Toyota's also given us full details on the packaging, the trim, well, maybe not all the individual options, but definitely the trim levels. And of course, we don't have price or fuel. Well, I'll take that back. We do have fuel economy for some of them. So let's get into the new Grand Highlander. Like I said, first going to break down the images. And my first impressions when I saw this vehicle is it's pretty neutral, and I love it for that. The current Highlander has a lot of lines and swoops and curves to it. I love the more boxy, macho nature to this. The front end looks a lot like the Sequoia, kind of mixed with the current Highlander. It's a bit busy at times, but my gosh, I think the design on this is pretty much a three-row crossover home run. And is it better looking than the Mazda CX-90 that I just previewed? I would say overall it might be at least a more conservative look, where Mazda kind of went for that premium home run sort of thing, with especially with the rear end, definitely going to turn some heads with that unique design. Okay, so let's focus on this guy. Looking at it from the back, we have a large LED strip at top, so we don't have a light bar that goes across. I'm okay with that. The rear windshield wiper is not tucked in like you see, let's say, on a Lexus RX. We have a beautiful dual exhaust. It's a very clean rear bumper. I think the rear end looks a lot cleaner than the front end. The front end can be a bit busy at times, but to be honest, it still looks pretty good. We'll talk more about the front end a little bit. But overall, the proportions here, they look solid. Nothing looks like out of place in my opinion. It looks like a very, very well designed three-row crossover. So let's talk about the front a little bit more here. We have the bi-LED headlights here. We have the fog lights. We have a little spoiler here at the bottom, and then a large grille, which reminds me a lot of the Sequoia, like I mentioned. We have a couple parking sensors up front. And then we have this chrome piece, and this might be only for, let's say, the Hybrid Max models. But we have this chrome piece that starts at the end, comes up, runs all the way across, and then back down. And then here are the headlights, which look very Highlander to me. The rear end, a little bit closer look. It looks like these tail lights, or should I say the reverse lights, these could be like an incandescent bulb, where the rest of it looks to be full LED. Grand Highlander on the lift gate here, which comes as no surprise. And let's keep moving, because I think the back end is pretty strong overall. I mean, look at the side profile. What do you guys think? I think it looks a little bit Lexus RX, actually, the new RX from the front. Look, I'm kind of getting those vibes. And it looks a little bit more proportionate here, even though the overhang is long on the front and the back. The vehicle's so long that it doesn't look out of place. On this particular trim, we have what looks to be a darkened like window surround, so we don't have a bright chrome. And at the bottom, it could be a glossy finish here. This looks matte around the wheels, but down at the very bottom, looks like a glossy black, but it could just be the angle. So we're going to keep going here. We do have a couple zoom in shots. We'll talk more about the wheel options here in a little bit. Those are the foggies. Now we've looked at the Storm Cloud with the Hybrid Max powertrain and the Platinum trim. Now we're looking at, it could be a limited trim or a Platinum trim without the Hybrid Max powertrain. So let's break down this windshield pearl. The front bumper is quite a bit different. I'll go ahead and put on screen the Hybrid Max's front bumper. And I think this actually looks cleaner, a little bit better in some ways than the overly busy Hybrid Max front bumper. So the Hybrid Max has a unique rear bumper as well, and the Hybrid Max will also have dual exhaust. So you do see the exhaust tip just kind of poking out back here. And guess what? You still have dual exhaust on this model as well. It's just not, you don't have those cool enclosures like you have on the Hybrid Max model. And we know this is not the base XLE trim, because the base XLE trim does not have fog lights, nor does it have the option of the 360 camera. So I think this pretty much confirms that this is a Platinum grade, but the 360 camera, I believe, is an option on the limited grade. Also, the wheels, these are 20-inch wheels. These are not the base 18-inch wheels that you see on the XLE trim. Let's get on the inside, and this is pretty neat. Okay, so we got a little Highlander vibes in here because we have a little like storage space here in the dash. We have some, it's not really carbon fiber, it's kind of like this diamond plated trim, which I like it. It's a big step up over, let's say, just like plain glossy black. We also have this copper treatment, which we've seen in multiple Toyota vehicles. We see it in the Crown. We've seen it in the Mirai. I don't know if the new Prius actually might have some too, if I remember. But anyways, we have the JBL sound system in this particular model. And let's talk about the large screen in the middle. So we have a 12-inch new touchscreen in here. This is essentially carried over from the refreshed Highlander for 2023. And we'll have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. We have heated and ventilated seats on this particular model. And we have a 360 camera. So this is the top of the line for sure. Check this out. We have a USB-C here by the side vent, and that's for charging, obviously, with a little battery on it. We have a data USB-C here, and then a USB-C for charging as well. So 3 in the front alone is quite crazy. The cup holders look to like you might be able to take out this portion here. It's hard to tell. We also have a wireless charger back here. This shifter looks like it's straight out of, let's say, the new Crown, for example, especially with these copper accents. But it always feels awkward to put my hand on these tiny shifters on the new Toyota and Lexus models. We have drive mode select here. Actually, more specifically, you have multi-terrain select with rock and dirt, mud, etc. So that's kind of neat. You have a snow mode, downhill ascent control. It looks like a couple armrests on each side that are just kind of fixed in place. And then this portion looks to be slidey like it is maybe in the Tundra. Looking at the steering wheel, I do like the chrome accents on the outside. I like the buttons here. And no, we don't have customizable buttons like you see on the NX and RX because this will have a head-up display, and I'm okay with that. So I love the traditional physical buttons here. I think it looks great and it's very functional. This also has the eye detection for additional safety features like traffic jam assist. And we also have a fully digital 12-inch MID behind the steering wheel. The standard is 7-inch, and we'll go over the tier differences later, of course, with the trim levels. We have auto-folding mirrors on this particular model, as well as memory seats. Of course, you're going to have all Toyota safety systems, which we'll talk more about later. But I like the neutrality of this. I'd like to see it in a lighter color as well. Also, on the higher trims with the Hybrid Max powertrain, you're going to have suede on these seats. So let's keep moving. More interior shots. It's just a different angle here. I guess another angle of the interior. The back seat. It looks like we have a lot of different ways to configure the seats. This button, or should I say this latch, will slide the seat forward and back, and this one folds it flat. We have a big cup holder here for double cups here on the door. Better look at that sunroof as well. We have sunshades here, and then as well as a vent overhead, and then a little light here. Do we have vents in the middle? I guess it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but we'll probably have a better angle of the back seat here in a little bit. Third row seat, this isn't huge because the current Highlander, the third row seat is just not great. The Sequoia's third row seat is not great. The 4Runner's third row seat is not great. The only usable third row seat probably is in the minivan, the Sienna here in North America. So what do we have going on back here? Well, tons of cup holders. That's at least 2 on each side. It might actually be more. You have a 3-row setup back here, which means it's going to seat up to 8, I would assume. And some of the models have a bench seat in the second row. You're also going to have a USB-C. I don't know if it shows it on this image. You have USB-C built in to this handle. That's what this block is. So it helps people get into that back row, which is a great design piece and ergonomic piece as well. Here's a better look at those, high-end seats with the suede on the inside. There's a USB-C, probably for the third row, I'd guess. Your AC adapter, which is going to be optional, I believe, on your hybrid trims. JBL subwoofer in the cargo. There's a better look at it. Now, the base engine's a turbo. We'll talk more about the powertrains here in a little bit. Here's the cargo capacity. I don't know if we actually have figures on the cargo in the third row. Let's keep moving. You can also fold all the seats down if you want, for just crazy amounts of cargo space. So I decided to make a spreadsheet just for the specific powertrains of the Grand Highlander. So the base engine is a 2.4 turbo, 265 horsepower, 309 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed auto, which we see in a lot of Toyota Lexus vehicles. Front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and I'm expecting about 23 miles per gallon. My favorite powertrain here is the 2.5-liter hybrid system that has a combined output of 245 horsepower. Now you can get it in either front-wheel drive or e all-wheel drive, adding a small electric motor on the back. I'm assuming it's going to use the same battery as a Sienna hybrid, for example, which is a 1.9 kilowatt hour battery. And Toyota's told us 34 miles per gallon. It could be a little bit higher or lower on the EPA cycle, but that's probably really close. And then the full fat powertrain, the 2.4 liter turbo hybrid max. We're taking the base engine, we're adding a 6-speed auto to it, but in between the engine and the 6-speed automatic transmission, you have a front electric motor. You also have a really powerful electric motor in the back to give you that all-wheel drive and added performance as well. So we're talking a 362 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. I think the battery size is a little bit smaller here because it is using the bipolar nickel metal hybrid technology, and it should get slightly better fuel economy than the 2.4 turbo while offering about 100 more horsepower. Not too bad. So we have available digital keys, standard 12.3-inch multimedia display. So the center screen that we saw is standard. You don't get any smaller ones. So that's awesome. And the hybrids will have a Beyond Zero logo on them, just like the new Prius. So that'll be pretty cool. It's kind of like that little circular atmospheric icon. Okay, we have a little more details here. Of course, it's built in the Princeton, Indiana plant where the new Lexus TX will be as well. And it will be on sale later this summer. So guys, if you want this 3-row crossover, you should probably start placing orders now because there's going to be a waiting list. People have been waiting for a more usable 3-row crossover from Toyota. We don't have official cargo capacity for the room behind the third row, but they say you can put 7 carry-on suitcases behind the third row. Also a total of 98 cubic feet when all the seats are folded down. We really broke down the front seat and the front cockpit area already. So let's dive into the second row. You're going to have air conditioning control panel on the and separate left and right USB ports placed together on top of the console end, which are in easy reach of the second row passengers. You also have cup holders on the center armrest with the bench seat specification, so you can fold that center armrest down to get more cup holders. On the captain's chairs, it looks like you're getting cup holders and a smartphone storage slit and multi-purpose tray provided on the rear console. Inside the door, you have another multi-purpose tray as well as additional water bottle storage. Into the third row, you have individual USB ports, smartphone/tablet storage space, and 2 cup and bottle holders are provided on the deck side, allowing for diverse usage scenarios, so 2 on each side. Across all 3 rows, Grand Highlander is road trip ready, equipped with 13 cup holders big enough for large water bottles and 7 USB-C charging ports. The Hybrid Max, they're saying, gives us a 0 to 60 in 6.3 seconds. That's pretty quick for such a large people mover. And the Hybrid Max powertrain also can tow 5,000 pounds. Blind spot monitor is standard, as well as rear cross traffic alert. And if you want front and rear parking sensors, you're going to have to go for the limited and platinum grades. Okay, so let's get into the finer details. We're going to break down the new Grand Highlander grade by grade. There are only 3 grades here. So let's start with the base grade, the XLE, which might be the best value, definitely the best value, but you're not going to have, for me, parking sensors. And when you're talking about a vehicle this large, having that parking sensor is a game changer. All right, so let's talk about the exterior. You get standard 18-inch wheels on the XLE, black painted grille, roof rails are included, and heated outer mirrors. On the inside, you have soft tack, so no cloth seats are available on the Grand Highlander. You have 10-way power driver and 8-way power passenger seats. That's great. So you can control the height of the passenger seat in the front. 7 passenger capacity with second row captain's chairs, or 8 passenger with the bench. You also have heated front seats standard on the XLE grade, and second row sunshades. So sunshades are standard on the new Grand Highlander. For technology, the digital key is actually standard on the XLE. You get the 12.3-inch touchscreen, like we mentioned. You get the 7-inch MID behind the steering wheel. We don't have any images of that yet. We have 7 USB chargers, 1 wireless charger. Wireless charger is standard, so that's pretty cool. Typically find that wireless chargers make my phone super hot and charge extremely slow, and sometimes just don't work at all. So like, it doesn't mean a whole lot for me, but I know for like Apple users, wireless charging seems to be more reliable. Anyways, safety and convenience. You have Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, blind spot monitor, rear cross traffic alert standard, like I mentioned, 5-door smart key. That is amazing. The new Prius, for example, on the LE, doesn't get any smart key access, which is oh man, that's a toughie because I'm looking at buying the new Prius, as you guys know. So anyways, we get a power lift gate is standard, garage door opener is standard, auto dimming mirror is standard. So let's step up to the mid grade, the limited grade. You get bigger wheels, 20-inch wheels. You have LED daytime running lights. So you get an upgraded headlight. So it means on the base XLE, we don't know what those headlights look like quite yet. Power folding outer mirrors are standard on the mid and upper grade. And then you have LED fog lamps. So like I mentioned before, those LED fog lamps that is previewed on the images are not from the base XLE grade. All right, interior. You now step up to leather. From the soft text, you have heated and ventilated front seats, heated second row seats, memory seat function for the first row, heated steering wheel, power outlet, ambient lighting, removable second row center storage console, and you also have the upgraded 12.3-inch multimedia screen with the 11-speaker JBL audio, and you also go from the 7-inch MID to the 12.3-inch MID. You get the parking sensors, you get the rain sensing wipers, you get the hands-free power lift gate, and you get puddle lamps. So to me, when I'm looking at the limited, like it gives me everything that I really would want in a 3-row crossover. So what is the platinum grade going to give us that the limited seems to already give us everything? You know what I mean? So let's get into it. We have heated and ventilated second row seats, complete overkill. The only way you can get the pano moonroof though is on that platinum grade. So I guess there's that. Paddle shifters, which come on the 2.4 turbo, also the 2.4 turbo hybrid, aka the hybrid max. You also have the multi-terrain select. So even if you have all-wheel drive gas or the hybrid max with the limited grade, you don't get the multi-terrain select. But who's going to be off-roading this? Not very many people. Anyways, safety and convenience. Head-up display. That's how you get it. It's in the platinum grade puddle lamps. 360 camera are also offered here. Digital rearview mirror is also standard on the platinum. You also have the upgraded safety features like traffic jam assist and front cross traffic alert. We actually have some options here. I don't know if these are all the options, but at least we have an idea of what's going on. So the XLE and Limited get the option of the bench seat and the pano moonroof. So you can actually get the pano moonroof on the lower grades. It's just standard on the platinum grade. The limited grade also adds the option as a 360 camera. So that's great to see as well. So for interior color options, the Grand Highlander is offered in the XLE gets soft text in light gray or black. The limited 2.5 liter hybrid or the 2.4 turbo gets leather, light gray or black. Platinum gas, so they're actually going to make a platinum with just a 2.4 liter turbo. You can get it in Portobello, light gray or black, and leather, of course. Limited hybrid max, so the 2.4 turbo hybrid gets ultra suede leather trim in light gray or black. And on the top of the grade, hybrid max platinum comes in ultra suede and leather trim in Portobello, light gray or black. Now, pricing is anyone's guess, but we need to take a look or at least consider what this price is going to be for the new Grand Highlander. So if we look at the standard Highlander, this is kind of an apples to oranges comparison. It's a smaller vehicle, but we know we don't have any of these base grades. And in fact, the XLE grade on the Highlander is not equipped like the XLE on the Grand Highlander. The XLE and the Grand Highlander is better equipped, definitely. You notice the tiny screen on the standard XLE Highlander. So if we look at the limited Grand Highlander, I think this is a better or more congruently equipped. No, we don't have the fully large digital MID in the back, but the XLE Highlander could come in around the same price as the limited Grand Highlander. So maybe a little bit more, maybe 47, 48K. Maybe they're hoping to be right under 50K for the entry level. I think that's a realistic possibility. And the limited could come in around the mid 50s, maybe starting around 54, 55,000. And then the platinum, when we're all said and done, is probably going to pass $60,000, especially with the hybrid max powertrain. If we look at the 2.4 liter pricing, 46.5. If we look at the 2.5 liter hybrid, it's 47.4. So it's $1,000 more for the hybrid setup. But we don't have a hybrid max, of course, on the standard Highlander. So my guess would be another 3 to 5 grand on top of the standard hybrid, which to me is just not going to be worth the price of admission. But everyone's mileage will vary for sure. So XLE Grand Highlander, I'm expecting under 50,000, and then probably around 65,000 for the max hybrid powertrain in the platinum grade. And then of course, you have your limited with different options in between. 3 trim levels here is really all you need. Take note, Mazda with the CX-90, like there are gobs and gobs of different trim levels. It's just really overwhelming. Here, Toyota did it very concise, very simple, very easy for the average consumer, meaning myself. Like my small brain can very easily understand the standard features on the XLE grade, and then the things you're getting on the limited and the platinum on top of that. I do wish that the parking sensors were an available option on the base grade. That would have been amazing, but I guess it's great that you can actually get the panel roof on the base grade and the middle grade as well. The Grand Highlander is styled well, it's packaged well, it has all the technology that I could really want in it. It has plenty of powertrains. The one I would be most interested in is the 36 miles per gallon one. I do most of my driving in town, and that hybrid would just be amazing upgrade over my 18 miles per gallon and my V6 Sienna, for example. And since I do most of my driving in stop and go traffic, the 360 plus horsepower hybrid max would be completely lost on me on my daily usage. So anyways, which powertrain would you be interested in? Which trim level would you be interested on the new 2024 Grand Highlander? Has Toyota hit a home run here? I gotta wait to drive it and see the pricing as well. But man, it's looking pretty. This is calling out all its main rivals at this point. The Pilot, the CX-90. It's calling out the Korean twins as well, the Pathfinder. It's so interesting in the current market, like Toyota giving us not only amazing performance cars with the GR lineup, they're also giving us 5 different 3-row vehicles if you include the Sienna. So great time for families if you're interested in Toyota products, and great time for performance for Toyota as well, and everything in between. Like, it's amazing how many like options and vehicles are able to actually put out there in the market. But when you're the world's largest automaker, I guess you can afford to make a vehicle for every single niche seemingly on the market. But I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the comments. Have a great day and peace.